Good morning, James.
Morning, Lars. How are you doing?
Good, good. Much work, but good.
That check money order feature. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was so much work. Hey, Stephen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hungry. I'm gonna go get a snack. Right back. Nice haircut, Lars.
Sorry?
Nice haircut.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Did you go to the barber or do you do it yourself?
Barber. Yeah, it's
It's a
No, that's not
weird
like it.
compliment to the haircut if you've done it
Wait, is that an
yourself.
insult to say that you did it yourself?
Yes,
Oh, wait,
yes.
no, Elena, I think it's only an insult if you think that it's bad. I said it's a good haircut. So I'm complimenting either his ability to cut his own hair or his barber.
Okay.
You gotta be more
Typically, like
optimistic.
if you cut your hair yourself, it's like really poor execution.
Yeah. Well, at least if you cut your hair yourself, the front probably looks okay, but you're gonna have a really bad time with the back.
Exactly.
I haven't been to a barber in a year.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Because of COVID or why?
Oh yeah. I'm just scared to go. Although I guess now it's probably okay, maybe. I haven't been able to get the vaccine yet, but
Do you cut your hair yourself?
no, my wife's mom does.
Okay. I was gonna
She's
make a
like
joke
the
out of it,
family
but
barber.
I won't.
Say what?
I was gonna make a joke about it, but now I won't.
Does it look okay? Yeah.
It looks okay.
Yeah, it's nice. I'll take a free haircut
So are
any
you
day.
gonna do a techno dance off with that background? What's happening here?
No, this is a holodeck. Don't you guys recognize it? Yeah.
Okay.
I don't really have any more. I haven't gotten any in a while.
Baseballs?
Okay. We waiting on anyone else? 10:03? I think we can get started. Lars, you ready to go? All right, I'll just kick it off. Welcome to the Community Sync, everybody. We have a few good demos today. I know, because I'm one of them. Lars is going to be showing off check money order. I will be demoing add to Wishlist from the product page. And I think that might be it, unless I'm forgetting anything. And we'll have a little bit of time for questions or, just open it up. So if anybody has implementation questions or anything like that that they've run into, feel free to throw them out. Other than that, should be a nice short demo. Take it away, Lars.
Thank you. Let's share my screen. See? Oh, it's wrong. I still have this bug. It's crazy. I need to select a different screen to get the right one. I don't know why. So, what I did here is I implement a new payment method, check money order, and so to starting here is this is a huge pull request because in this pull request I also refactor some things of the checkout, like I'm moving some GraphQL queries to Peregrine. Also, I refactor or adding a new component billing address. So and let's go a little bit in the code here because if you want to install it, there is we currently ship it in the extension folder, and it's currently not enabled by default because still it's a sample because we doesn't have GraphQL coverage in the backend for loading the data here. So if you want to get this thing, you need to go to your Venia concept, or currently it's in development, so you need to move it to your local project, and then you go to the package.json and link it to your project, and then you can install it. So maybe something about the work here. If you go in the checkmo thing, there is only UI things holded, and any logic is placed in the hook. And also, I take so much time to writing tests here for the hooks and for the payment method, for the billing and transform. So if you're searching for how I can hook or how I can mock something, I recommending take a look on it how we write testing here, because it's like one thing what I want to mention here is if you're writing hooks and if you're not familiar, we having here some new thing, merge operations, or I'm not sure if it's really new, but this was the first time where I see it. So this thing allows any developer to override hook queries and mutations by using our target API. So this merge operations is really good. if you want to test something. Also, if you having the use case, hey, I have a hook what use some query like I want to load some configuration from the backend. So you can override this prop with Target API, and yeah, it's ready to go. One thing what I would like also showing here is the payment flow diagram. I think this is something what we also need to the docs page in one or this week or next week. So here you can see how the payment flow works in PWA Studio and which components and which hooks are relevant and what they are responsible for. So, is there any question? Is there something what I need to show? Or
I have a question about the missing GraphQL coverage. Have you outlined what's missing? Like what's data missing?
yeah, it's what is missing here is the configuration, the stock configuration, because currently it's not possible to get payable and mailing address by the backend. So what we did here is we add a client annotation. This means we never ever call the backend about these two props. We having some mock data here. So if you having a backend and having implementing GraphQL coverage, you can delete it, and then the GraphQL query will trigger to the backend.
Yeah, that's really helpful,
Okay.
Lars. And we can probably take that information and open up some internal tickets if they're not already existing.
Yeah, we need to do that. So, like, if you identified other fields other than this email address, it would be nice, like, to get that input from you.
Yeah, I also can open a pull request at the GraphQL repo, because for me, I already implement the GraphQL coverage. It's one class or something like that, or one XML file, if I remember correctly. It's really small. You only need to whitelist this two props and say, hey, I want to add this to the GraphQL API.
Recommend opening it up and linking a ticket just so that it's out there, and then we can, nudge the right people internally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really great. And also, kind of in case we want to implement another static payment method on top of what you've done, like what are the extension points available after your implementation?
Extension points are currently available on the payment level. This means you can register it very easily. This was something what was merged 4 months, 5 months, or something like that ago. So basically, you can register a payment method very, very easily. It's only this 5 lines, and then you have a new payment method, and then you need only to implement the interface of a payment method, and this is all. So it should be very easy to implement now a static payment method or a different payment method, because now you have a billing form. Now you have the GraphQL queries in the right place. You not need to move GraphQL files in the checkout away to having the right dependencies.
Yeah, Lars has done a lot of work in refactoring the Venia code for the payment types. So I think when he first started, he realized that he needed a lot of things in different places, and things kind of split apart, like billing address. And then he did that work at the same time that he was implementing this extension. So when this gets delivered, I think it's already been merged actually, but now it's easier to add a payment type for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, this is what I wanted to confirm. But do we have any developer documentation explaining what are the process to introduce a new payment method now?
Mm,
I don't know if we have documentation for that specific thing, but this is an example that, yeah, Lars has this.
Yeah, I'll work with Lars to get that documentation out.
there should be some documentation about the targets already.
Right, yeah, but it's not like target. It's not specific about payment methods.
Yeah,
It's about
yeah, this is
implementing like a different component. So this, I think what Elena's looking for is like adding your own payment method.
Yeah. So for
okay.
example, if someone wants to build a Stripe or like any other gateway into Magento, what would be the steps now? So maybe guys like Steven and the team, maybe we need to have that ticket internally to kind of pull together the data and have that documentation.
Yeah. I also having already some documentation for my blog, so I can rewrite and having some tutorial at the tutorial page. But this is like it's like you copy only the extension code, what I was writing down, and the showing some special things what I did here because there are much not knowledge what because where I started, it was like, oh, okay, this is new, and this is new, and I did much at PWA Studio, so I learned a lot through this feature.
Yeah, and like your fresh eye is really helpful there. So kind of if you learn that from scratch, it basically means that you can help learn someone else the same way.
Thanks a
And
lot,
me and
Lars.
Lars will work together to get an outline and form that tutorial.
Yeah, thank you. James, do you need a ticket for that?
Yeah, I would like a ticket. That way we can just track it on the board.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'll have it ready.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions for Lars in chat maybe?
No, I appreciate the demo. It's really awesome to see all of the changes.
Yeah. Golf clap for Lars. Thank you very much, Lars. Your work has been really appreciated. I know it's been a long time coming. We've been working on this together for a little bit. I know you keep asking me, when is it going to get merged? So I'm glad it's finally there. That's good to know. All right, I'm going
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to demo something, the add to wishlist from PDP work that I did. This is a feature that works on C or E, and it's got two different sort of implementations, I guess. I think what I've got working is the right now, so we'll see. Click. As you noticed, or you might have noticed, when you're on a product page and you're not signed in, there's no button. As soon as you sign in, the button appears. For EE, you have multiple wish lists. There's, I think, a configurable max limit. I think there's 10 maybe right now on this back end. You get a default wish list that you can add to, or you can also create a new list. It can be private or public. You save, it'll save it to that wish list. There's also, I guess, the ability to add different configurations. So as soon as you select some different options for an item, you can add that new selection to the favorites list. Let me see if I can quickly change this and see if it works. The CE implementation is much more straightforward. There's no dialog or modal that pops up now. It's just the button, and as soon as you click it, it'll add it to your single wish list. There's some work coming down. I hope by next demo we'll be able to show y'all the real data hooked up side of this. So we'll have the account page where you'll be able to view your wish lists and edit them, adding and removing items, creating new wish lists, stuff like that. So there you go. That was it just now. Added this product to the wish list. Let me see if there's anything I wanted to go over technically in here. The API, the Graphql API, takes in an option selection array of the value UIDs. So when you select different options for your product, to add that to the wish list, these have some UID, some hash value, and that is what actually needs to get sent with your GraphQL mutation. So that gets appended automatically every time that you change the options for your change selected options as you click. There's really not too much there. The buttons are pretty straightforward. You'll see two different versions, this .ce and a .ee version. Both have their own talons with different logic because of the different functionality. There's not really too much there. PR is still open, hasn't been merged yet, but I think it's going to go through review or QA here soon. I still need to add tests for it. But I just wanted to demo that functionality since it's pretty much done and working. I guess I could have shown you the query on the other side to show that the data actually or the product actually got added, but I don't have that ready to go. So, are there any questions about this work?
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. Maybe they are stupid ones because I'm new to that scope and I haven't reviewed the requirements. So the first question, whether it's possible to add a configurable product to wish list without configuring it?
Yeah. So you can add the item without any configuration to your wish list. It'll just add one quantity of the figured item.
But if you move, there is a possibility to move to the card from the wish list. What happens if there is no configuration?
I don't know. That's a good question.
It should be redirecting you to the product detail page again. This is the default behavior in Luma.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, so whoever is implementing that side of things, that the move to cart functionality, will need to take that into account, that there's not really an ability to add the unconfigured configurable product to the cart from a wish list. You'll need to go to the product page first, configure it, and then click add to cart.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. Go on. I was just about to ask another question. So if you have any comments on that.
Oh yeah, I just had another question. Like if you add it to favorites and reload the page, is it going to check if it's already added to favorites? Or can you add multiple?
Right. So that was something originally the UX mocks had the ability to remove an item from your favorites, and it is possible there's a mutation that exists. You have to pull the ID from the wish list for that product that you're adding. So it's got some internal ID on the wish list. When you add a product, it might be like ID 5 in that specific wish list. But to do that, you have to kind of look at the selected options, convert them into that UID array, then use that to search through the wish list for an item with configured options that match those UIDs. But notably, the wish list query does not return configurable options in the same way that you send them. So when you pass in the UID of like the hash value, the return value comes back as like a value ID and a label ID. So you have to sort of do another mapping and maintain this state rather than dive into that and try to implement something that would be kind of technically difficult on the UI. We opted to just make this experience where when you refresh the page, you can add it again, because there's no limit to how many times you can add an item to your favorites. I think in the future, the GraphQL team has said they're going to make it easier to identify whether a product in its given configuration is already in a wish list. And then we can go from there in terms of, on CE, it'll be straightforward. This button would just change to remove from favorites. But in EE, where you have the option to add to multiple favorites lists, that UX gets a little bit muddy because it's not clear if this should be remove. And then, or maybe you want to add it to multiple lists. So would you click add or manage favorites and then pick, to remove it from a certain one? So the behavior here I think we're going for is that a user would add it to their favorites and then manage that list from the wish list view. I don't know if this will actually work. I think it's just like fake data.
Yeah. Also, this is the current behavior in Luma as well. So you get a filled heart if any configuration is on the wish list or on one of the wish list, and then you if you go to the wish list, you can remove the item. But there is no way to removing this currently in Luma as well.
From the product page, right?
Yeah, from the product detail page. If you click the heart again on the product detail page and you have configured this item on the list, it's will redirected to the list.
See, okay. Yeah. And that may be something we implement later, like a redirect if it's been added already, like view list or something. Yeah. Good question though. There's definitely, I spent a few days trying to figure out the best way to move past that because the logic to match up the selected options and the stuff that's in the wish list was really difficult. Are there any other questions?
Yeah, another question from my side.
Sure.
Why we don't show the add to wishlist button when user is not logged in?
I think wishlist only exists for users for customers. I just don't think you can add them for guest users.
Yeah, I mean, but what? Sure, but why we don't prompt the login? I don't see the requirement to hide the button, to be honest. That's why I'm asking.
That was just I guess just a decision I made when I was implementing it. There's no ability to add to favorites, so
But the alternative is to prompt user to log in and actually add to favorite. Otherwise, it's just like user wouldn't know that they need an account to actually have a wish list because there is like nothing suggests that.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good point. I'm not sure if the mocks included interaction details like that. So
Add to favorite present all the time. I'll just look through the mockups. I know it doesn't say specifically like to hide or not to hide. Like it's just not mentioned at all in the requirements.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, so no wonder you kind of wondered what to do.
Yeah, I usually, when I'm personally implementing something, I'll just go with the most literal translation from the mocks. So, it's easy enough to say, well, when you are logged in, don't render this button. But it's also similarly pretty easy, I think, to open up this drop down and have them sign in. But I'd want to talk about that experience with our designer before I made any calls there.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we still have an epic to kind of work on the wish list, so we can make improvements later.
Yeah. Before we didn't even have this drop down. We had the sign in was through the left nav only, and this was a little difficult to open up the left nav to the sign in view. So now that we have a drop down, I believe we probably have the ability to toggle it from external components like something on the page. So it might be pretty straightforward to just click that and it, I don't know, maybe a toast pops up and says you have to be logged in first or something.
Yeah, it's for Scott to kind of define what the user interaction should be. It's just like from my perspective, like most of the users on the website, they are not logged in and they like shop as guests up until the moment they actually buy and need to log in to speed up the process. So like they would never ever discover their wish list in this case.
Very true. Yeah. You wouldn't even know if you're a guest user that there was a wish list.
Yeah, exactly. So we implemented feature like for 10% of the shoppers on the website.
But those are the good 10%.
Yeah, that's right. Loyal ones.
Loyal ones, yeah. Well, was there any other questions? We're about out of time here. All right. Well, oh wait, there's a bunch of messages in chat. Single login registration page. There is, Lars, actually, there is a sign-in page, I believe, or a create account page. I don't know what directs to it, because now there's a create account form, I think, in that drop-down, and there's a create account form in the left nav. So I think we just have like a page that lives out there. If you navigate directly to the URL, it might open that page, but I'm not sure. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that wraps up, unless there's any other questions.
No, thank you for the demo. Awesome.
Yeah. Thanks for attending, everybody. Have a good day.
Bye. All right. See you guys.
See you. Thank you. Bye.